Sometimes love comes and goes away. Every time I think just how much you mean to me. Oh, I have kept my faith in us all this time, understanding how much it's meant to be. Yeah, I appreciate what we have. There is no turning back. Celebrate two as one. Life has just begun. Celebrate the love we share. It'll lead us on the right path to you and I. So let's take our time and make it right, because this is what we've dreamed of all the time. We appreciate what we have. There is no turning back. Celebrate two as one. Life has just begun. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate everywhere. We can do this all night long. Come on now. Celebrate you and me. Love will be eternally. There's no way we can go wrong. Come on, take my hand. Let's get to moving, moving. Gonna make it last forever, yeah. We don't have to rush, cause we have all night. Let's celebrate all through our lives. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate everywhere. We can do this all night long. We can do it, baby. Celebrate you and me. Love will be eternally. There's no way we can go wrong. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate everywhere. We can do this all night long. Celebrate you and me. Love will be eternally. There's no way we can go wrong. We can go wrong. Celebrate. Come on. Hey. We can do this all night long. You better do it again. Celebrate.
Where the steppers at?
Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate everywhere. We can do this all night long. We can do it all night. Celebrate you and me. Love will be eternally. There's no way we can go wrong. Why are people
They tell me cancer is putting somebody down. Yes, it is. And for a minute, everything is fine. Well, then the next thing I know, somebody got a stroke and left their family behind. I can't stand it. Ooh. 'Cause what we eat and what we drink is all a lie. Chemicals falling from the sky, and you walk around and you're still asleep. Know the truth because the truth shall set you free from the matrix. Oh, listen to me. The matrix. It's got your mind, it's got your children, chemtrails falling from the sky.
Seems like forever since I've been away, and I know it's been hard for you. You say you felt lonely, but I feel it too, and I wish that I was there with you.
I need you here with me.
Girl, that's my only dream,
to feel you next to me.
the only way that things should be.
To love, to touch, to know it won't be long.
Stop for a minute, girl, just wait for me.
Wait for me.
Not a day goes by when I didn't call your name, baby. Oh, those crazy lonely nights, you must believe.
Just wait for me, baby.
Every minute without you, girl, is wasting time, baby. So, girl, just wait for me. I'm here making sure our plans come true, so that things turn out the way they want them to. Just a matter of time, I'll be there with you, so you must be strong.
I need you in my life.
Girl, that's my only dream.
I need to feel your touch.
Closer, gal, in every way.
To love, to touch, to know it won't be long.
Stop for a minute, girl, just wait for me.
Wait for me.
Not a day goes by when I didn't call your name, baby. Oh, those crazy lonely nights, you must believe.
Just wait for me, baby.
Every minute without you, girl, is wasting time. Oh, baby, wait for me. You must believe that I love you, sexy lady.
Wait for me. Yeah, baby. Ooh, yeah. It's the right night. It's the right night. It's the right night. It's the right night. Right night. Up early morning, trying to start the day, thinking over what to tell you, what to say. In a time when there's confusion clouding up our minds, I reach into a daydream, seeing what I find. I got to tell you, baby, after all this time, tonight we're gonna take our time and do it right. Gonna put away distractions, give you all your due. Gonna enter a dimension that is so brand new. Yes, it is the right time. It's the right night for you and me, baby. Yeah, it's the right night. Yes, it is the right night. Oh, it's the right night. Ooh, right night. Baby, I am contemplating what we'll do, and you know that I've been waiting
Yeah, baby. Ooh, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Indie Live Spot right here on GHP Radio, live streaming on YouTube. And also, we are actually right now streaming on Facebook live as well. So if you're over there, you can actually view the show there at the same time while we're streaming live on YouTube. And as you see, we do have our guest here. We're very excited. We have MiChelle and Carey right here today. We're going to be celebrating them and the music today. So welcome our guest today. Welcome to the show, you guys. Love to have you. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, great music. Of course, we just got through giving our viewers and listeners some of a couple of tracks actually from your latest here. We actually started out with Just to Be With You, and then also we had Right Night, and we're gonna share some more a little bit later in the show. But we definitely want to talk with you both and find out a little bit about you, and also the music, the project, and how it all come to now. So, welcome, like I said again, welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here, and the album's still brand new. Just released January 11th.
Awesome.
2020 has been a great year. Great.
That is awesome. Now, what is the name of the new CD?
The album is called Love Dance. It's actually, there's a song that's a jazz standard that we recorded and our producers arranged for us, and it's called Love Dance. And so when they asked me, my producer asked me, what do you want to name the album? And the album is, every song is about love on the album. And a lot of them are very danceable. And then we had the title track, and I said, well, Love Dance makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. So it fits real well. So
beautiful.
That's awesome.
It really is. And you actually reside in the San Antonio area. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Pat's born and raised here in San Antonio. And I'm born in Las Vegas, but I've been here since I was very, very young. Started school, kindergarten years, so I consider myself pretty much a San Antonian. I mean, I've lived here my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Grizz was telling me that you guys, about you guys, and everything about your music, so we were very excited about having you today. And so I know Grizz probably have a history with you as well, huh?
Like I said, Griselda's been a wonderful supporter of all the smooth jazz artists, live music here in San Antonio and the region around the area. And so she's just been such a faithful friend. And that we finally, as you know, Griselda, we finally have an album like this to share. All these years later, Pat and I have been playing together for about almost 24 years. We've been... Wow. We had a band called Planet Soul, and then it became PM Soul. And so here we are today with the album after all these years. Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember seeing you first when it was just Planet Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And David Munoz is the one that brought you guys to one of the clubs that we would have like a jazz night or something at that club.
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw you was actually downtown at that club. I forgot the name of the club. I know it's changed, big time. But I think it was like across the street or something from Planet Hollywood or something.
Oh,
that they had way back in the day. So it was like in that area of downtown. So I remember seeing you guys, and I was just like, wow. Yeah, that was the first time I actually saw you.
That was some years ago.
Yeah, was it the Elephant Room or something?
Marks, there was the Presidio, and then Club Reeve. They were all in that same area of the Riverwalk that David Munoz.
Wasn't it like the Elephant Room or something?
Elephant Room's in Austin, but it might have been the Presidio or Marks. I can't remember.
Yeah, it went through a lot of different names.
So many different names.
Yeah, they did. And it's been, eons since I've been to that part of downtown anyway. But that's the first time I saw you guys, and I just like, wow. I was blown away. And I was like, okay, cool. A cool San Antonio band. So, that was thanks to David Munoz that I got to know you guys back then. So, and ever since I've been trying to follow, when you guys or try to go where you guys are playing, when you're performing, when you were still playing soul, and then when it wasn't, and it was like, oh, now it's PM soul, okay. So I was like, okay.
We had to change our name. We loved the name, and it was established, here in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. But when Pat really got serious about recording our original music, and we wanted to put it out, there is Planet Soul based in Florida that did more of club dance music, and we couldn't publish or release or copy
under that name. Yeah.
So we had to change our name, and it was about the time we first released actually our song "Call on Me" and and "One and Only Love," which are on the album in a new arrangement. But when we first released those, we had to change our name, so we came up with Pat and MiChelle. And PM and nighttime.
Right.
It kind of made sense as we mostly perform at night. Yeah. Don't say PMS.
Oh, not PMS.
The reason that is because our saxophone player that's played with us for the duration, his name is Carl Span. So we were looking for another initial to use, and the joke that David Munoz always says is that we were going to call ourselves PMS, and we only worked one time a month.
I got a question. I got a question.
Yes.
This is Mac. I lived and worked in San Antonio. I didn't know all this was happening. I was trying to find different places to go when I lived and worked at Kelly, and even at Lackland. Couldn't find all these places.
Actually, Pat's dad worked at Kelly, and I grew up on the South Side, so Kelly was a big part of our community. And for a while, we were trying to get something going at the Gateway Club at Lackland. We were trying to bring jazz. We were trying to bring jazz there to that side of town, and we've actually done some things at Randolph. They were doing Friday night happy hours, and the people would stay, and it was always a beautiful crowd. And
we played 4th of July ceremonies there and stuff too, but
because being that San Antonio is military city, when you get the military employees out, and you always have a great time, and but we never really got anything going in that area, in the neighborhood of Kelly. But we tried, and we've done some of the the free shows. Like, did you ever go to the Balcones Heights Jazz Festivals or some of the outdoor things? Those are some of the places to enjoy the live music.
The thing was, you asked around, nobody didn't really seem to know where to go. Was this one place I went to, and they always had somebody up in there, Tucker's. Remember Tucker's?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was basically the only place that I knew.
Yeah, and Tucker's is just reopened.
Kind of downtown area.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of other stuff happens kind of on the outskirts of town, I guess, in the northeast and stuff like that too.
We done a thing in I guess St. Paul Square or near the Alamo Dome.
Sunset Station.
Was Sunset Station area. We used to perform at what they called the High Note, was down there, and then of course when Tony G's first opened, it was down in that area.
But we're talking ancient history now.
That's years ago.
Yeah, because I was there, a while. Like I said, nobody seemed to know what was going on around the city. What they didn't do at the Lackland, at the Gateway over at the Lackland, or it was over at Randolph. And they may have a little something to come in at the for Sam. But other than that,
Yeah.
for around the city,
In that neighborhood, yeah.
Shame on us.
Yeah, we need to make it around the city, you know, because I said that's my old neighborhood, you know, near Kelly Field, South Side, you know.
But I want to know about your music. I know we played 2 tracks. Did I understand that this is your first CD release?
I mean, we have a CD, like a covers, a CD of covers and like party music that we did with PM Soul. This is our first ever full-length album that has original music on it, which there's 6 originals on the album and 4 cover songs. So yeah, it's.
So tell us about how this came about. Your last album, the original.
Which one? The last album or this album?
This album. Oh, how you got?
Well, yeah. I mean, I owe so much to radio, and radio is still a very strong form of media. And so one morning I was driving to work and I was listening to the local college jazz station. It's called KRTU here in San Antonio, and EC3, who is our musical producer, was on the air with the local host, and he's talking about an album he put out with an artist named Nicole Banks Long, and they played her song, and she did several songs on the album, but the song they played was it's an Al Jarreau song called Fly, and she just like killed, and I was like, who is this woman? I want to buy this album, you know. Yeah. So I went and liked her page and liked every page I could find through social media, you know, attached to her album. And EC3 messaged me and said, thank you for adding us, liking our music. And I said, I love, you know, and loved what I heard. And I was really, the music really got my attention. And he said, well, you're from San Antonio? And I said, yeah, I'm a musician. And he said, oh, you know, send me some of your music. I'd like to hear it. And I grabbed some of my YouTube links and sent him some things. And he said, I'd love to work with you. And wow. And you know, I asked him, what does that entail? How much does it cost for a project? And you know, he was very straightforward and honest about, you know, the investment it takes. And I thought, wow, you know, I can't afford that. But we're so, you know, grateful to Mr. Stanley Shropshire from Big Bib Entertainment, because he made this whole project happen. Without him, I wouldn't be here. Pat and I would not be here today talking about this album.
That's
and he's done some amazing work here in San Antonio. He produced Billy Ray Shepherd's album.
Oh yeah.
And he produced Wednesday Ball's album, Breakaway.
Executive producer.
He's the executive producer for, you know, other San Antonio artists. So he's doing you know, a record label with artists, and he's all of our, you know, personal friend. And it's so, it goes beyond business, because we love Mr. Stanley from Big Bib, and we've done shows. Pat's done numerous concerts for Stanley where he backs up. I mean, he's backed up Warren Hill, Steve Cole, Jeff Kashiwa, and
Will Donato
multiple times.
Yeah. Will, yes, I remember.
Peter White, I can't, you know, Elon Trotman. I mean, the names just were Pat's fan, and he gets the musicians together to back up the artists. So we had a really great relationship with Mr. Stanley, and we got him in touch with EC3, my producer, and he made it happen. So it's just connecting people. I think social media, you know, networking, you know, opening your ears to other artists, liking them, sharing their music. You really never know what kind of connection you're gonna make, and it, you know, that's how it happened for us. That's how this album happened.
That is so awesome. So awesome. And now, Pat, you're a bassist, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. So how long you been playing bass?
Oh, boy. I can't divulge that information. I'm sorry.
So, but you can. When did you start?
Oh man, I mean, you know, when I was a kid, you know, wanted to be in a garage band, wanted to play with other guys, and it happened that I played with some guys that was older than myself, and I started out on guitar, and the bass player in the garage band left. And my friends who were all older than me, they said, look, you're going to have to play bass or you're out of the band. So I said, okay, I'll play bass because I wanted to be in the band. And that's kind of how it started.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, in the chat room.
Well, how did you? What is it like being married to a musician being married to another musician? What is it like?
I'm gonna let her answer that one.
The thing for me is,
somebody in the chat line had a question for you, so I'm gonna back up and come back to that. Go ahead, Gris.
Oh no, I was just saying that I just wanted to do it because Keith Gilchrist, he says Pat always trying like he can't play. He's acting like you can't play. And that's what made me laugh, and I was like, I had to tell you that real quick.
Too humble. Kick him sometimes, you know, but it's good to be humble, but you don't want to, you know,
overdo it.
It's of being like, oh, I suck, you know. You don't want to be, you know, and I've been there because I've been told that I'm kind of humble about it. And I performed with Daryl Williams about a month ago, and he said, so MiChelle, he asked me on stage, you know, you're familiar with these parts, and I said, you know, you just say things, and I said, yeah, I sing a little bit around here.
A little bit. Come on.
I know, right?
I know.
Yes, Daryl. I sing. I sold out this place for my CD. Really, I didn't want to be like, you know, you can kind of overdo it because you need to be humble because number one, tomorrow isn't promised. And for me as a singer, I mean, I've had friends that have had health issues that affected their voice.
Yeah.
And you can't buy another one. And so that keeps me very grounded to be humble because, you know, anything can happen. And like I said, you can go out and buy another guitar or a set of drums. You can never buy another voice.
That's right.
That keeps me, you know, connected to my source, which is the Lord, and humble, grounded because, you know, it could all be gone tomorrow.
True.
Now, yeah, but MiChelle, so
okay, back to mine. I want to know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joyce. Go ahead, Joyce.
Musician married to another musician. How was that?
Yeah.
What is that like?
For me, it's nothing unusual. My father was a musician, so I come from a musical family. I've got uncles and cousins on both sides of my family. My dad, the late Randy Garibay, was a blues guitarist and amazing vocalist. I mean, his voice, I'd love to share his music with y'all someday. So he was a musician. My dad's a musician. You know, his mom was a singer in Monterrey, Mexico, when they would sing live on the radio way back, you know, like in the 20s. And my brother's a musician. My grandfather, my mother's dad, was a jazz drummer. So uncles, cousins on, like I said, both sides of the family. So it didn't make any, I didn't think twice about marrying a musician. And then we worked together. So I think some of my friends that are musicians, when they date someone who's not a musician, he or she will say, oh, well, on the weekend, you never have time for me because you're gigging all the time. Or you get home so late and you're out there and I don't know who you're talking to out there. Well, that's never been, we're there from when you unload the equipment to put away the equipment. I mean,
right.
I guess the only downside is that we're awful dancers because we don't dance. We're always on stage playing.
He's a good dancer.
We can't dance. And like almost every New Year's, well, lately not so much, but on New Year's we hardly get to kiss at midnight because we're singing all the time.
You're singing, you're performing.
She's singing.
and we're playing and but so I've enjoyed that. That's what we do. We spend our weekends when over the years we've done gigs and so it saved Pat a lot of money on dates because he didn't have to take me nowhere. He just took me out to make money. Go make money this weekend.
What are you calling me?
No. But and it's awesome to share in the music. I mean, that's with the album, our original songs that, you know, music's kind of like our other child, another constant in our life together that we participate in and create together and share and encourage each other, because it's not an easy business to be in, you know.
Not at all.
You know, we've been, and you hang in there through the ups and downs. You know, we can look back on some terrible gigs and some great gigs. And
call them the gigs from hell.
But I have to say that this season we're in now together, said we've been together 26 years. We've been married 25 years. Been working together for 24 years. But I think we're really in our best season of favor and joy, and we reached this point. I don't want to cry, but it's I'm happy that we hung in there with each other through everything that we've been through.
Yeah, we're still perfecting the love dance, because it's not always hasn't been love all the time.
No, and you step on each other's toes when you're dancing, and you trip, and you step the wrong way, and
you bump heads and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's getting good now. We're getting in the right flow right now.
And I think that the album kind of you reach a level where, wow, we did this, and I can look at this album, and it's you know, some of those songs we wrote, you know, 20 years ago.
Wow.
Finally have them, you know, sound the way they came out sounding, and where we can share them. I mean, we're, you know, my daughter can say, look, this is parents' album, and it just makes it so real, and it makes it, you know, your dream and your kind of your mission in life, you know, it comes to pass. You see the fruit of all your effort.
Right.
Oh,
We're finding the fruit, and we're grateful and very excited about it, you know. So we, you know, that's our thing. And I understand him as a musician, you know. Sometimes he's the real gifted writer, and he'll get in here, and as you can see our little studio behind here, and he puts the headphones on, and sometimes he's just there for hours, you know.
Yes.
And I know it's process, and so, you know, I understand that, and it doesn't bother me. I'm happy, and I want to see what he's gonna come up with next, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I don't tell him, you know. I got somebody that cuts the grass now. It's like, just make songs. He tried to go, when he wants to go outside and do stuff, I'm like, no, you'll hurt your hands. You got to play bass. Get in the house. Get inside somebody.
Get back in there. That's
back in there. Go write some music. So
that's right.
You ought to be blessed. You ought to be blessed that way. Boy, you ain't got to do them honeydews.
Well, see,
I got a few.
Well, you know, and it took me a while to get here, because I'm not gonna sit there and go, I've always been so. I used to complain. I used to be like, how come you don't know how to, you know, fix this, or you don't, you know, I want you to do this, and you've taken forever to fix that. But I you know, in a relationship, you come.
Let's don't go into that.
But you know, I don't cook. I'm not a, you know, I cook on the bandstand. I'm not gonna cook in the kitchen. But no, we understand one another and who we are now. You get to know who they are, and when you really love someone, you love them for who they are.
Right.
So,
Well, I guess I'm just as bad, because I don't know how to fix anything either. So I just have to pay somebody to do it.
But I'm just like, your thing is writing and playing bass and doing that, and that's the beautiful stuff you do, and we'll get somebody else to do those other things. So.
I know how to get stuff fixed. You write the check.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the only way to do
it. Those skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's a long time to get to where we are, but we're here, and like I said, I'm real grateful, real happy right now.
Well, and you know, the thing that, not to just keep on this subject, but I saw the opportunity to make a shout out to the producers though too, because the guys that produced the CD, EC3 and Tyrone Jackson, they took what we had and they took it to the next level, basically with their musicianship and their talents and skills and everything. EC is a great drummer. Tyrone is an awesome pianist, keyboardist. So they really, I say that they messed our music up really good. And
they gave it like a rebirth and take it to another level, and it's almost like when you see those shows when people fix up their house and you walk in.
Yeah.
And when they sent us back the music with their arrangements and we heard it,
just blown away.
Blown away. Like, wow. Oh yeah, I mean, it's they heard something in the music that we didn't hear, and I love that. That's that creative voice that speaks to people differently, and that we could be part of it is awesome.
Right, right. And who are the other musicians that helped you out on this project?
We have no idea.
No. I have to give a shout out to the vocalists, the background vocals.
Yes.
Troy Soul Edler, he goes by Soul. He's got his own album. He has sung background for Mesa, Patty Austin. He's an amazing vocalist. So he kind of led the singers. Melanie Jones is another singer based out of Atlanta. Okay. And another singer on the album is named Rayshun Lamar. And Rayshun was a finalist on The Voice. And he is he's just a ray of light. He's just a very positive, amazing person. He's a cancer survivor. And he had a whole thing called Rayshun Nation. And when he was on The Voice, and to have him part of the project was incredible.
He emits a lot of positive energy, that's for sure.
He cancer survivor, and he is living every day of his life with that joy. I mean, he is. Those singers sang the backgrounds. You'll hear him on the album. And Frankie Quinones is a percussionist. He's played with many artists. And then some of the horn players are based out of the Virginia area. A lot of them are Air Force guys, I think.
I think so. Airmen of note. Great band forever.
Yeah.
Lots of people been through that band that are big time artists.
One of the biggest surprises that I didn't see him, I didn't know, but when I got the album back and I opened it and I saw the names, Doc Powell played guitar on the album.
Get out.
And I was like, oh.
What? You're like, wait, what?
He's like, oh yeah, we call Doc. And I was like, what?
Wow.
So, because once we laid down our part, Pat and I actually drove up to Springfield, Virginia to Bias Studios. I don't like to get on airplanes. I'm sorry. That's just...
I don't blame you.
I'm not an airplane person.
They'd have to drug me, and I can't do that on a commercial flight. So.
Yeah, I have to have my pills just to get to like Vegas on a little short flight. We drove, and we had a wonderful time. But once we did our part, then there's more music to add, drums and the guitar. And so Doc Powell.
So I need you to read off all the rest of the names now.
Claude Legrand on drums. Colin Agnew is another percussionist. Tony Harrod. We met Tony, guitarist. Doc Powell. Sam Skelton playing a tenor saxophone and flute. And Teddy Baker is another sax player. Victor Barranco on trombone, and Graham Breedlove on trumpet.
So guys.
So yeah, they're great musicians, and it's all live music.
Very masterful. Very. I mean.
Pat on bass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, Pat. Yes, Pat. Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what I would like to do now is go into some more selections from this awesome CD. Of course, like I said, before we came on, we did play "Just to Be with You" and "Right Night." And if you could just tell us a little bit about those two tracks, and then I want you guys to tell us another track to play since we've already picked two there. So I want you guys to take the next pick if you could.
Next pick. Well, let's see, which one should we do next?
Your call.
Well, we're doing originals. How about a song called "Call on Me"?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And like I said, the album's about love, and that one, to me, there's a couple songs for our love for God and God's love for us. And that is that God says, I'm always here for you. Just call. I'm watching you as you live your life. And when you struggle, sometimes you may look here for help or that. And I'm like right there with you. And so that was the inspiration for the song. And you can interpret it as if it's with a significant other or an actual friend. But for us, we wrote it as God saying to call on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the reprise on that one.
Amen.
And that was like, ooh, girlfriend took it to church.
We took the reprise,
Amen.
and I'm glad you put that in there. I was like, wow, because we were feeling the spirit.
Oh, you can tell. Believe me. I was like, ooh, she took it to church. You go, girl.
No doubt about it.
And what I was asking about Right Night and just, what was it? Just to be with you, Gary? Yeah, what was the backstories for those? Is what Gary had asked.
Well, Right Night, Pat wrote the music for that song, and it was so funny because he said, oh, listen to this groove, and it was one of those things where lyrics just like rolled out of me. I mean, I was just, wow. It just like, and so I did write the lyric on that, and then, so it just has to be with, tonight's the right night.
You don't know for what. You can make up your own mind about that.
Relationship song. There's a relationship song. Just to Be With You is, another love song, and I don't know. We just, even though we get on each other's nerves, we love to be with each other. We're together all the time, and it's okay. We're just, In fact, we just bought a little travel trailer, a little RV. There, you're with each other close all the time. So we're like so excited to go away for some trips and just be together. And when we first got together, I mean, Pat used to deliver instruments for a music store, and I would kind of just go with him to ride shotgun, and it wasn't like we were doing anything special, but I'd go with him to work and everything. So
that's just wrong. Kids don't do that.
It's like, go do something else. But it was just kind of, we want to be together all the time. So
that's funny. And what about, so that's also goes into Just to Be With You?
Yeah, those are their relationship love songs.
Yeah, it's not too complicated.
All right. Cute. Well, that sounds great.
All right.
Well, let's get into it. We're going to go ahead and play Call on Me, and I'll do the reprise as well. And then I'll probably sneak one more in, and then when we come back, she can tell us about that as well. So everybody keep it locked right here. The music is wonderful. We got great guests. We're very happy about MiChelle and Pat being here with us today. So show your love for our guests today, and keep it locked. We'll be right back right here on the Indie Live Spot.
You can call on me when you have a need, and I will come to you. I will help you make it through. We all fall on hard times. Life has no guarantees. Oh, this I promise. I'll love unconditionally. I will be your shelter when the winds are getting rough. And I will be your comfort when your spirit's had enough. If you'd only trust me, you know I won't let you down. No, no, no. When you're in the valley, I will always be around. Call for me in your time of need. Remember, I'm here for you. Call on me, trust in me. You know I truly love you. All you got to do is trust me, yeah. You know I won't let you down, no, no, no. When those friends forsake you, I will always be around, yeah. Come on, call on me, oh yeah. I'll be there to the very end. Better believe it, child. Yeah, 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 yeah. Call on me if you need a friend. I'll be there to the very end. Oh, I promise, it's a promise that you can always call on me. Yeah, anything you need. Oh yes, it's right here in my hand. Oh yeah, it's in the master plan. All you gotta do is I'll be there to the very end. If it just should, you can trust me. I will always be around, yeah. Come on, call on me, oh yeah. I'll be there to the very end. Call on me. Better believe it, child. Call on me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Call on me when you need a friend. I'll be there to the very end. Oh, I promise, it's a promise that you can always call on me. Yeah, anything you need. Oh yes, it's right here in my hand. Oh yeah. It's in the master plan. Call me. Call me. All you gotta do is I'll be there till the very end. Call me. Call on me. I'll be there till the very end. If it just me, you can trust me. Hey! On me. From too much talk to silent touches, sweet touches. We turned our hearts to love, then tried it. First time romance, there in the quiet, love learns to dance. We loved, we slept, we kept the lights on. The night's gone, and morning finds us caught in life's most sensible trance. Turn up the quiet, love wants to dance. All songs find new life in hearts that are listening like ours, and all dreams take new wings in silence, in silence. From too much talk to loving touches, love touches. When pure emotion takes the moment, we take the chance. Turn up the quiet, love wants to dance. Too much talk to silent touches, sweet touches. We turned our hearts to love, then tried it. First time romance, there in the quiet, love learns to dance. We slept, we left the lights on. Ooh, the night's gone, and morning finds us caught in life's most sensible trance. Turn up the quiet, love wants to dance. Baby, we left the lights on. I wanna dance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And wow, that music is awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now that was just, you just got through hearing Love Dance. Right before that, we did play both Call on Me, the actual song, and then the reprise as well. And then Love Dance. So, but gosh, that was beautiful. All that. It really was.
And you know, Gary is a producer. He produces his own music. He's an engineer and all that. So when he says it's impeccable, you know. He's hearing all that detail because he can pick up on that.
The ears, the producers, they hear things that we don't hear. And the song Love Dance, EC sent to me, and he sent it to me by Diane Shure. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna do something by that Diane Shure recorded, you know, because she's like, you know, one of the most amazing voices on the planet. And I was like, you want me to do it, Diane Shure? Sometimes there's these artists that they got a song, you just don't want to touch that song, like they own the song, you know. But you know, their arrangement had something different, like at the end, the Love Wants to Dance, and the whole different thing, the soprano saxophone in there, and so I was able to stop telling myself I can't or I shouldn't, and we just did it. So
do it.
Yeah.
We love the arrangement.
I'm almost ashamed to say that I had never heard that song before, and when he sent us that song, I heard the lyric "Turn up the quiet," and I said, "Yeah, we're doing that."
Yeah.
Because I just thought that was like the coolest, one of the coolest lyrics.
The lyric, yeah, quiet, Love Wants to Dance.
Yeah.
I love that.
did.
I can see why you guys, all the logistics from the recording process, even the logistics financially, and to see the fruit of your labor, like you said, that alone. And people, and I've said this several times before, they don't understand the hard work that goes into releasing a professionally a professional CD, something with great quality and sound. And they do all that, and you sell it 99 cents a track. But
it's a crazy world we live in now.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where you just want to share that work and people to hear it and enjoy it. You know, we get to a point where we just listen to it, want you to have it, want you to share it, want you to enjoy it, you know. I'm sorry, but back in the old days when you and you know, I was there in the old days, part of them anyway. You know, you had to get a major deal, you had to sign your life away, and and now with the technology that you can, you know, put stuff out there on the internet so easy for other people to hear, it's kind of it's a very cool thing for artists, I think, nowadays, that they can do that, and even sometimes cultivate their own audiences, you know, themselves and everything. And it's more personal.
That's right.
Give and take with the listeners, which is really valuable too, you know.
Very
I like
valuable.
the name of your show, The Indie Spot, because there's countless independent artists.
Yes.
And that get famous from not famous, but you know, get to be well known on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we've produced things right here in our living room. You know, I've got a microphone, and you know, we've done music here in our own house. You know,
Absolutely.
On very minimal equipment.
Yeah, but you know, you still are able to bring the music to life like that. You know, it's great.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Speaking of, real quick, there was a lot of good feedback in the chat room when we were playing your music, and also a Sylvia Morales is in the chat room saying hello to you guys.
Hi, Sylvia. Tell her thank you for listening.
You just did? She's listening. She's watching.
She can hear you.
Oh, I'm still getting this technology thing.
Well, again,
It'd be different if we were on break and then she couldn't hear you, but no.
Yeah.
I think the chat room is such a cool thing, you know, that just takes radio to a new level too. You know, remember back in the day, you'd have to call in the radio station, hope that they pick up or talk.
Exactly. You're just sitting there waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
Remember the old school radio stuff. So this is great. Chat room is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, gosh. Now, you guys. So, have you had a chance to perform this new material yet, live and everything?
Yes.
Last night.
At our concert was on January 11th here in San Antonio at the Buena Vista Theater at UTSA downtown campus. And so it's a beautiful theater. It seats about 300 seats and big stage and beautiful lights and sound. And so we did a full concert of the album. I think we did almost every song on the album.
Almost.
With some extras of just things we wanted to do for the audience. And EC and Tyrone and Pat played 3 songs together. So they performed a couple songs. So we did the music there. And our last couple of gigs, we played at a place called Luna here in San Antonio, a club called Luna. And we've been doing some of the originals live. And last night we did some, and people danced to them, and we got excited because
that's great.
Kind of were like, y'all aren't playing Stevie. You're not playing Stevie Wonder or Shaka Khan. What's going on? You know, they were kind of like, you know, they're so used to the cover stuff we do.
Okay.
They feel it every time when they do it.
And then thank you, and they danced, and I was so excited. You know, it was. Yeah, we've been performing the songs.
That's awesome.
It's like when I was in Colorado, I was doing that. The owner asked me to do a Sade tribute because they had something going on. And I did Sade, then I did 3 from my CD, then I ended with Sade. So I told the audience, I said, I am a cover girl. I do cover other people's music, and tonight I'm going to do Sade.
Yes, I love that.
So I said, I'm a cover girl. And then later I said, now I'm going to do my original self. And I pulled out 3. But you have to be strategic in that because I don't travel with my band. When you're traveling, you have to play with their house band. So I try to be careful. And now, I don't know if you noticed, it's a new thing. It's not new, but it's send your click tracks ahead to play. There's still some that don't like it. And I'm like you, I'm still trying to develop that technology. I have the equipment, but I'm still a little nervous about it, you know, because not everybody's comfortable. If I know somebody's comfortable with it and has, you know, the ears and the, you know, the mixer and all that, okay, you're comfortable with it, drummer, you're good. But if he's not, then you might have some problems. So I try to be flexible with people and try not to, you know. It's tough unless you're traveling with your own band all over the place. But to me, it's just not going to happen like that anymore. So you have to be flexible.
Yeah,
so
budgets
and all that.
Budgets and schedules don't allow for that, and so I feel, you know, so blessed to have Pat, because Pat has done the backing tracks, because the album was recorded all live. You know, there's live horns, live.
Right.
And so to have your own, I guess now I heard that they call them stems. Have you heard that? They call them
stems. Yeah. They are stems, yeah.
Stems.
I call them click tracks like you, tracks. But anyway.
And that's why I use both, because some call it tracks, yeah.
But he created those, but he doesn't put the keyboard, because we got a keyboard player. He doesn't put the bass part in it, but he puts the things and the click and the rhythm so we can perform it live and it sounds close to the album. And so it's a nice enhancement, and I'm telling you, almost all the artists that Pat's backed up over the last, I don't know how many years you've been doing that. A lot of them bring tracks and stems. A lot of them perform with it, and but the live band still plays live with them. It's just those sweetenings and enhancements that that make it.
Like percussive sounds that might, those little accents and things are in there. So I did it for Valentine's event because the drummer was comfortable. We were covering Bruno Mars, and I said, okay, and like, some songs. So he used it, he was comfortable with it, and it was very effective.
Yeah.
I said, can you do this? Yes, okay. But I have seen in some cases. So it sounds like, what do you think that, do you always give it to the drummer, or is it the keyboard player, or either one, the click tracks? Who's handling it?
Well, I guess I'm the one that's I push go, so that's about all it takes at that particular point when you're performing it, is to just hit the button and it goes, because that's why you're saying that it could go bad, because in the middle, if somebody gets off, you can't stop. I mean, you can stop it, but then you lose all of the sweetenings and everything that you're using it for. But no, we did, like she said, the last couple of First Fridays at Luna, I worked up some of the songs, and it just gets played through the monitors for most people, but the drummer does have the click and the tracks. So pretty much he's the guy responsible for making sure it all stays together, and everybody else just kind of plays as they normally would.
Right. Yeah, because your drummer's going to be your backbone, keep everybody in beat, so.
Everybody's got to follow him anyway.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But there's still some that aren't.
They better got a problem with the drummer anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's either your best friend or your worst enemy.
I like that, Joyce. I like Cover Girl. I think that's cool because the work I do is covers, and that's been my whole career, And one of the things I found in that is, you try to give the song justice, do the song justice. So I try to sing them in the same key, and I try to do things maybe like Anita Baker did, some of her licks. You try to, I do a lot of Anita Baker covers, Shaka Khan, Aretha Franklin, and but then at this point in my age and my career, to do an album, I had to find my own voice.
Yes.
You probably know the same thing, Joyce, because you want to sound like them, because people will recognize it, but then you want to find out, what God placed in just you.
Yes.
Your voice.
Yeah.
And that's what's just gonna come out from your soul, from your heart, when you're not trying to sound like nobody else but yourself.
That's right. That is right.
And
Cover Girl. I thought you was talking about makeup, Joyce.
I know you did. Loved it. They cracked up. I said, I'm a Cover Girl. Hey, they started cracking.
Maybe it's Cover Girl, Maybelline, something like that. But yeah.
No, they didn't know I meant music, because I'm telling you when I just,
But I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you're on your stage, you're always trying to make something entertaining, even when you're talking. But, like even Sade, I said, okay, Sade, there was some couple of songs that was difficult for me because I had to remember to keep all the vibrato out.
How she sings real,
Yeah, she's like this. And it may be a little but when you're singing you're not thinking about all that.
Yeah,
you know what you mean. Because I said, okay, it's a Sade. I had my ponytail back.
Wear your hoops.
And I had big
earrings. I saw the photos, like, oh, look at them big earrings.
Yeah,
I love it.
Ponytail and a classy, plain-looking outfit. Not nothing too extravagant.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this is my Sade look for today. But I had to work a little bit on keeping that vibrato out for the most part. And I still had some in there, but I didn't. I trying to get that sound. I could never sound like her. I love her voice. I love her voice.
Yeah.
She's an amazing voice. But again, like you said, okay, what is my voice? Who am I? Let me do me. But I'm sorry, I'm not like you. Sometimes I had to lower some keys.
I'm at a certain age. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be 50 years old on March 25th.
Oh, girl, you young.
But I have brought some keys. I've come down a step or two. I did an Aretha Franklin tribute, because when she passed in 2018, and I thought, oh yeah, I know that song, and I was like, yeah, well, I'll do that song, Think. If you ever try to sing the song Think, you better think about what you're trying to do to me. Think,
girl.
Go ahead, sing, girl.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go way back when. But my gosh, when you do it in her key, I was like, it's that song. If it was like a balloon, it was floating away from me, and I was like, I thought we gotta bring that down.
Half a step at least, right?
Because I was like, I'm losing this song. It's flying above me. But you don't want to change it to where you're going. You better think. You still pretty close. But I have had to bring some songs down. Some of them they're right.
And I have to add that nobody in the world knows anything about that except y'all.
We know what
Nobody
the record
cares
key is.
what key you sing.
They don't.
Anything like that.
Right.
You're right. I tell people that they don't care if you have a music degree on the stage. They don't care how many people you played with. They don't care about all your education. If you have to play that, they only care about, is it sounding good right now for me for that ticket I paid for?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
So you can talk about your education. Well, I'm a doctorate in music and I'm this and I've done this.
There we go. Yeah, I can.
It don't mean a thing unless it's got that swing.
Exactly.
You
I'm happy you said that, Joyce, because I'm a self-taught. He knows, Pat knows theory. He went to University of Miami, and he's a study. He writes all our charts, and he knows,
that stuff. But that's inside stuff.
But I just kind of like, no, I don't like how that sounds in that key. Change it, and I don't know, A B C D F G H I J K. I don't.
Give him for all you care.
Like, just change it.
Yeah.
Just say too high.
But
that's my point.
He helps take care of all the scientific stuff there, right?
Now,
You said that you were finding. You said you had to find your own voice when you did this. When you did this new CD. But when I was talking to Gary before everybody came online with us, and it's like, even though, because I know your influence is definitely like Aretha Franklin, Anita Baker, Patti LaBelle, and Chaka Khan and all that. Even though it's you and you have your own voice, but I can still hear those influences here and a couple of notes here and there on the songs. And I was like, oh, that's Anita Baker. I was like, oh, that's a little bit of Aretha. I was like, oh, that's like a Patti, and okay, and then so, oh, there's some Chaka Khan there. So yeah, I can hear those influences, but it's MiChelle. You're not copying those other icons. You've got the influence, you got the flavor and the vibe, but it's still totally you.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're, they become part of the soundtrack of your life, or as a musician, they're part of your music DNA. Those that influence you. And there was a song we wrote, and we were thinking about what to do on the bridge, and I told Pat, we were recording here in our house. I said, you gotta take me for a ride, and we just got in the car and drove, and it was kind of funny, but I was like, what would Patti do? What would Patti do with this line? Because I had the lyric, and I was trying to find a way to sing it, and you try to hear her voice, and so I look to my influences, because they're not all of them songwriters, but how they sing rewrite the song. They rewrite what they bring. So
well, I tell you, your voice is just beautiful. I love how how your voice style is and everything when I was listening to music. And I was also kind of curious to know when was the time when you felt, when you really said, okay, I'm doing my professional thing right now, you know, in singing. I mean, how did it lead into it? I mean, what struck that for you?
Well, I was always around music. You know, I go to my dad's shows and everything growing up. But I always felt embarrassed to sing in front of my dad, and I always felt like I'd be compared to him because he was so great, and I was almost intimidated by him. And I regret that I wouldn't go to his gigs a lot, because then he'd say, "Come on, sing with me, mija, get up on stage and sit in." I was like, "Oh, no, I just want to watch you." But I did my first gig at the age of 17, and I had been in school choir, and I changed schools. The school I went to didn't have a choir, so some of my friends and I started a garage band, and we just, back then, you know, you put the cassette on. We didn't have someone like Pat writing charts, and we try to play it, pick it out, and learn it. And, we did a high school dance, Griselda San Antonio, at St. Paul's gym. we just danced. And so I started doing, and we kept on doing gigs. And then I got gigs with professional, not garage bands. So I started at 17, and then I thought, I was not going to go into the business, because I know how hard it was, you know, financially for my family growing up. My dad would have a gig, and a place would shut down, or a band would break up.
Right.
But I don't want to subject myself to that. I've done that my whole life, and then I go marry a musician, and here we are. But I just found that, you know, I enjoyed it, and I thought, well, I think I can keep doing this. So, and my family didn't tell me, "Oh, you can't be a singer," because everybody, that's what you do in my family. Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a day job. I'm not a full-time musician. So I work in my church. I'm an administrator. I work in the church office. I'm the church lady during the day. So.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I'm at the club at night and church during the day, so.
As long as you don't come up and say, "Well, isn't that special?" Since 2002, I've worked in the church, and so.
Life.
So I have a double life, you know, and all my pastors know what I do.
Oh yeah.
There's times that they've come see me, and I try not to move that much on stage. I try to hips down, kind of.
You know, Michelle, to lead us or not, pastors like to come. Preachers like to come out there and listen to good music, and they might have a drink in there.
Yes, yeah, that's true. And you know, we, like you said, we're grown folks, we're adults. You know, we just you can be in the club and be classy, and that's kind of how we've always, you know, carried ourselves as a band. You know, every time, you know, like Griselda knows, if David Munoz is doing an event, it's classy, there's grown folks, it's nice, it's about the music. And so we've always tried to kind of be in that kind of environment, you know.
And we're going there to spread the gospel, so.
Well, you know, people know that they you know, I don't hide that I sing in church every Sunday, and I work in the church.
Yeah,
and
you shouldn't hide it. I mean, we had this discussion on the show before, how years ago, how a lady said that us church musicians, we shouldn't be playing out in the world, and you shouldn't expect. You should be playing for God, playing for free. But I'm like, you know what? You can get the usher, or you can get the keyboard player to usher, but you can't get the keyboard player. You can't get the usher to go play keys. Like,
amen.
Yeah.
You know, it's true.
And it's amazing. I said, you know what? Everybody else works outside the church. The usher, the finance person, he has a job outside of church. But you don't want the musicians to have a job outside of church?
Yeah, no.
Look, I'm too grown to fall for that one.
And you will have that, that judgment that people will place on you. And Aretha Franklin, I was of a preacher, and she had a lot of criticism about that she was leaving the church to go in the world, and she said, I'm taking the church with me.
That's right.
I am the church.
Yeah.
She said, I'm taking and she did that. Everybody heard that gospel influence, even people that weren't believers. Actually, when she did her live album Amazing Grace,
That's right.
you know where that voice came from. That's the anointing. And she said the church went with me. I didn't leave the church. It's with me.
That's right. You just think about that. All them ones that sit back criticizing you because you out there singing in a club atmosphere, but you think about it. They jumping on the buses headed to the casinos.
Hello.
Chris,
Well.
Pastor might be gone.
Ray, what did you call that when the church is like paying you but with food? What did you call that?
You talking about what I want to call it is an offering, a love offering.
There you go, love offering. They give you food instead.
Love offering. You perform, you do your best.
Potatoes.
Just pay the people. Don't get a love offering. You may get $2 in the love offering. Pay
it again.
Right. And that in the church.
Air conditioner repair.
Just in the church.
Right.
Yeah, I know musicians goes in the church and perform and do their best. Then the pastor gets up and says, we need to give them a love offering. Blah, blah, blah. The probably don't get but $2.
Oh, my Lord.
Man. And a love offering. Pay the people.
Let your church call the air conditioner repair person. Let your church call the carpenter or any other skilled person. And they don't say, can we give them a love offering? Honorary. No,
I need to come speak to our finance committee at my church one of these days. They need to be hearing this wisdom, because what you're saying is spot on point. Pat is the music director at our church for the contemporary, and we have professional musicians that play in the rhythm section, and we have volunteer singers. But we've like you said, these people have an education, a skill, an ability that not everybody possesses. Like you said, I can't imagine one of our ushers trying to pick up his bass and play like it's not going to happen.
Well, don't the musicians in your church, don't they get paid?
They do.
Yes.
Okay. They ain't getting no love off, they getting a salary.
Basically, yeah.
We've had to, like Joyce is saying, we've had to go to bat to say we want that consistency and that quality of what, and I'm not saying there's not volunteer musicians that can afford that. All the guys are full-time musicians. That's what they do. They're there to rehearse, to learn the music, to be there every week. Sometimes you get a volunteer that, I don't feel good today, or I'm not going to be there, or I can't, you can't
that
really.
happens.
Yeah. And so that consistency and the accountability of a professional is sometimes what you need to bring the best, and when you're doing it for God, you want to do the best you can do.
Yeah.
To bring no half-baked.
Exactly.
But God had not said you come in there to perform for the congregation, to give them a love offering. Pay them.
Right. It's I understand that. I've learned also about, like I was talking about, finding my voice, but also finding my purpose, that singing in a church is not a gig. I know the difference between a gig singing in church, and it's so different. It's taken me years to understand that, but I've learned that it's not a gig. It's different. Because for a gig you have a different goal in mind, but when you go to lead worship, you want the body of Christ to join in song, to be singing unto God. That's what you're bring them closer to God, and that's the goal of that, you know.
And I agree with that, but like you said, if they're a full-time musician, because when you go as a musician to the doctor's office or to the dentist's office, we get the same bill.
Amen.
Discount because you need praise and worship, so you don't have to pay, and that's what I like to tell them. Man, it's tough out here, and of course, everybody else knows I have some dental work. I need just the first part is going to cost over $10,000.
Oh my Lord.
Give me a discount because I'm a musician, or you play in church, okay, you don't have to pay.
No.
It doesn't work that way. So I just ask people just to be cognizant of that, sensitive to that whatever, that bills that we have are the same bills of everybody else. And they can also say, well, go get a job. Well, I spent a lot of money going to college to get this degree so I could do this job. I mean, self-employment is okay, so I am self-employed and I choose to do this. Now, have I thought about doing something part-time and doing other things? Of course I have to supplement my income, especially when it's time to record a CD. So,
that's, I think all of us, we have the job so we can keep pursuing our passion, and eat sometime. But the ultimate dream is what you're doing, Joyce, is full-time.
I'm a musician.
Pouring into your music. When you can have that, provide yourself that mental space and that time for the creative process, and to do your best where you're not kind of being pulled in different directions. That's the perfect life for a musician, is to be able to do it.
It's really hard for us to do that. So.
You think about something like this, that if you're out there gigging full time, okay, I understand that you got bills to pay, but take some of that money that you gigging, pay your bill, then take some of the other money, set it back for your projects.
Mac, how much do you think
just take the money to pay the bill? That's it.
Mac, how much do you think local bands are getting? We're talking about medical bills that could be $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 depending on the condition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
I know it's not easy.
You can put money to the side, but if you go into a local venue and they're going to pay your 5-piece band $300.
Hello.
How much are you going to get back?
And she's speaking truth, because we've been playing a long time. Pat's been playing even longer, and the pay scale has gotten worse or remained the same. $100 gigs has been the thing for 20 years already, and it's kind of like everything else.
Yeah, I need a raise.
Everything else.
But if you belong to the union, you can pretty much demand that's that's salary, right?
Right to pay. No, been there, done that.
And you got to pay dues to do that, so it's kind of like,
It's a catch-22.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, we had a group that come out of Oklahoma and wanted to play here in Texas, and they would not let them play unless they was in the union.
Oh yeah, right. There's some of that, yeah.
And it's kind of ridiculous, I think.
Well, let's be honest, that event has a contract with the union. They have an agreement that, for instance, like when I was in the union, I played in the festival in Fort Worth, with the Fort Worth Main Street, and the only way you can play there if you're in a union. I'm not in a union anymore, so I can't get booked there anymore. So no matter where you come from, if they have that agreement, for lack of a better word, with the union, they get all their musicians that way, because through the union there's what do you call it, guys? A grant? Not a grant, but there's some kind of supplement there that they will match with the festival. Festivals. They're behind. No, don't get booked. Not even Texas bands will get booked at those festivals. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The thing always used to be that Texas was a right-to-work state.
Exactly.
So somebody could have an agreement with anybody else if they want to, but if it's a right-to-work state, I don't think they can enforce that. But I mean, anybody's anybody's free to hire or not hire somebody if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be nice if we would, all musicians would become together and say, this is how much you, this is how, because you know, doctors do it, you guys. When you go to, they have an industry standard.
Well,
You
you look at it like this, Joyce. You know, say if you go in there and charge $2,500 to get that gig, you know, contract, throwing the contract out there. Here comes somebody else and said, well, I'll do it for 15.
That's what I was that's what I meant by what I
lot
said.
of musicians cut each other's throats out here. That's what they do.
But you don't see doctors doing that. If a procedure costs a certain amount, you go to the next doctor, it'll be about the same. But musicians, yes, we do that. Well, I'll do it for less.
Well, I'm sorry, but I was thinking back when we were talking about church musicians, that I see like a parallel between people that think that the church musicians should always have to play for free, the same way that club owners say, come here and play at our club. We're not going to pay you, but it'll be good exposure for you. I don't need no exposure, especially if I'm cold. I don't need exposure to the outside elements. I need my comfortable house and my heat and everything.
That's right. That's right.
Exposure. I want my clothes on.
I know.
What are you talking about exposure? Okay, it is 1,500 exposures.
Right.
We
don't.
You
know, that's just the whole thing in a nutshell. Them club owners, boy, they figure they can get, somebody come in their club for $200 or $100 a man or whatever, and then they making all the money. They're making money coming off that door. Then they're making money at the drinks. Then if they're serving food, they're still making money. And then the band are bringing the people in to help fill up some of them seats. Then this is what you want to give them? Shh.
And the thing is, the rub right there is that the reason that they think they can do that is because they can. Because the musicians, I guess, that are starting out or whatever their objective is, they'll go do that. Maybe just to have a gig because they want to have a gig, but they're not thinking about their career in the long term.
In the long term.
Right.
They're thinking in the short. Yeah, I understand that. I understand it well.
There's that's a general statement, and that's what makes Mr. Stanley Shropshire such a unique and godly, generous person, because you could say, Mr. Stanley owns a restaurant and a musical venue, but he has proven that he is investing in artists and in the scene in San Antonio. The concerts he brings, sometimes, they don't sell. We don't know what the bottom line ends up after he provides the musicians, the venue, the sound, the staff, the travel, and he treats all his artists top notch. So he is in it, and he's a unique. All I can say is he's a blessing to our music community here in San Antonio. Right. Because there's plenty of club owners that's like does what you're saying, Mac, that does that, but he's done something different, and he seeks a higher purpose, and he has a sincere passion for music and a love for artists, and that's. Yeah. I mean, I can't say enough because we've been through that club thing. We've been through that, so.
Yeah.
To Mr. Stanley.
Amen.
So the guy you're talking about is Mr. Stanley?
Mr. Stanley Shropshire with Big Bib Entertainment, and he's got restaurants. Big Bib Barbecue in San Antonio.
Big Bib, I thought you said Big Bib Entertainment.
Yes, he has.
You talking about the bib that go around your neck so you won't waste the juice?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I tell Stanley, big bib is because you need a big bib for all the blessings that's gonna fall from above.
Yes. Amen.
And like I said, he's done some amazing work for artists. Like I said, Billy Ray Shepherd, Wednesday Fall, and now our album, mine and Pat, and bringing great shows to San Antonio. And so he transcends that, what a club owner or music venue owner.
Yay.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
And that's how I felt about giving shout out to a jazz funk connection in Colorado Springs, the owner Michael, and I felt treated very fairly going there.
Yeah.
As opposed to situation I had in Los Angeles last year was horrible. That's another story, but I can say jazz funk connection treated me well, and it was my debut there, and I did everything I could to get people there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. The artists, we work hard to promote, and it becomes, you want it to be a partnership, so that
yes,
it's not just so there's a balance of the effort put in, and you feel like they really invested, like you invested in your show.
Right.
And this show is helping that dynamic as well.
The fact that y'all are taking the time to talk to us and share this, I mean, that's what it's all about, is that creating those partnerships and connections and networking, and help artists helping one another is also another way, because we understand, like Joyce, you're speaking my truth and the things I understand, and music lovers, like Griselda and Mac, y'all know, because y'all are into the music. So as we continue just creating more and more partnerships, I think is a key. It's and nowadays with social media, I think we all need to really work our best, because anybody can go on to my page and say, oh, she was this, that in my club, good or bad. People can post Google reviews, and we can post reviews about venues too, that hey, so social media helps us to take our business seriously and to be of a high quality, because it matters what people's reviews and their impression. I read those reviews whenever I go to a hotel or buy anything. I look at those, and so it matters the impression you leave. And I hope there's more venues that treat the artists right.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
We need that.
Okay, well, look like we're just about 4 or 5 minutes before time to end our wonderful conversation with you, and just want to say we really enjoyed having both of you on the show today. It's just been a blessing to have you guys, and your music is awesome. We want you to be sure to come back, don't be strangers, and just been great. Your music is awesome, so I just want to thank you again. And also, before we do leave today for today's show, could you also let our viewers and know where they can actually keep up with the things that you're doing, because I know you guys are constantly going to be doing some great things, because this is an awesome project. So let them know where they can pick up the music and how they can follow you as well.
All right. Well, my website is MiChelle G. Carey. So it's MiChelle with 2 L's, G. Carey, CAREY.com. MiChelleGCarey.com. You can find our music on Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify. The album is Love Dance. We're based out of here in San Antonio. We've got my Facebook page is Sing It Michelle at Facebook, and you can find Pat and I. We're streaming everywhere. The album is Love Dance, and of course we're produced by Big Bib Entertainment. So that is our production, our record company, and SVU Entertainment are the music producers. And we just invite you to go to my website, and you can join my list. There's an email list to let you know of performances we're doing around town, and just thank the listeners for checking out the music. And we want to keep sharing music, and you got some new faithful listeners here. So thank you, Gary, and Joyce and Griselda and Mac. Thank you all for the
And thank
conversation.
you. Yeah, y'all are a blessing to us too. So we thank you for having us on.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Pleasure, yes. Absolutely.
So go on and write reviews. Write reviews. I would love my Facebook page. You could write a review. We're collecting reviews. Even if you send them to us on Messenger, we're forwarding those to Robert McLean with Sundial Media.
Shout out to Robert.
Shout out to Robert McLean with Sundial Media Group, taking care of all of our promotions, our website, and he does a magnificent job. So we're so happy to be part of the Sundial Media Group family.
Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Well, gosh, great. I wish we had more time.
We got to some good conversation today.
Yes, we did. We really did. We really did. And it's very.
So.
Yeah. Very enjoyable. Okay, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and close. Just want to thank everybody. And again, I thank our guests, MiChelle and Pat, both for being such a great guest, and wish nothing but the best for you and your future endeavors as well.
Same.
Thank you. All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend, and of course, join us here next week. I'm sure we're going to have another guest. I'm going to let Grizz fill you in on that, and I want everybody to just enjoy. And if you happen to catch, maybe you didn't catch the beginning of this, there will be an archive for everyone to check out once this is all over with. So with that said, I'm going to pass it over to Joyce, Ray, and Grizz.
Well, it's so happy to be back. Missed you guys last weekend, but I had a great time in Colorado Springs. Shout out to Tony Exum Jr. for band for supporting me. Band, you're the greatest. I look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. Have a blessed day. Until next time.
Well,
Mac,
I ain't got too much to say. See you later. Bye.
Oh. Oh no.
Short and sweet to the point. MiChelle,
Have a great
Pat,
weekend, y'all.
MiChelle, Pat, thank you for joining us, for being here for the whole show, and thank you. And like I said, music is just off the chain. Loved every track.
It is.
It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
So, GHP family, you have got to get this CD. Trust me, just get it.
Yes.
You're going to love it. It's a needed add to your library.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, John the Saint.
I know, right?
At the end.
He could have been this and not in the chat room.
Hey, buddy.
I don't know if I need to share about one more song.
Yes.
That I tell you about one more song.
Please.
Sure.
Please do.
During the process, we got to, we had our originals and we had the covers that we wanted to do, and said, well, we want 10 songs, and we said we need one more song, and then we're just scratching our heads what song to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat said, we need to do a song for the Lord, and I said, well, of course, yeah. I was like, which one? There's so many. And he said, you're going to sing Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp. And
I
said,
love that one, too. Oh, yeah.
well, I'm not.
Well.
Number one, I've never performed that song. That's not a song. I mean, that song has ministered to me, but I've never performed that song.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, we're going to do that one. So he talked to EC and said, we're going to do that one. And so we went to record, and they had sent us the demos of all the arrangements, but that one was not on our demos. So I didn't know what we were going to do with it till the day came. Did all my tracks, and on the very last day, that was the song to do. And they said, well, you're going to just do that just with Tyrone and the piano. And I got all these singers, they're not going to sing with me? No background, no choir, no, just you and the piano.
Stripped down.
Stripped down, and it was, it was a divine moment, God appointed moment, because Tyrone what he plays, his we weren't even in the same room, but we were in the same vein.
Yeah,
and,
same spirit.
Yep, exactly.
So I have to just thank Pat that he heard, that word from God to do that song.
Listen to the Lord, Pat. Listen to the Lord.
It just meant so much because of our, this season of my life, to have this album and things in our life we've had, we've been through so much together in our life. So you tapping me. You want to tell me about our daughter?
No.
Well, our daughter, she's beautiful. She's great. She's 25 now, but when she was born, she was very, very sick. She has one vocal cord that, she had a trach tube. She was in the hospital. I thought we were gonna lose her, and we've been through so much together, and I really struggled with fear and depression, and we came out of that, and God brought us through that, and so it goes beyond where I made it in my career. I'm talking about when I make it each day to get up and live life, where we are today, and things we've been through together in our marriage. Just everything, all the joy that comes after, that joy that comes in the morning, that's where we are right now. So that song I hope it ministers to y'all, because it was just such a beautiful moment. Yeah, it was.
It is a beautiful song, because I love the way the piano just kind of fades out. The piano playing was amazing. I was like, I wish you could have played like that. So he did an amazing job.
It was beautiful. So I wanted to share that with the listeners that, when you hear those promptings to do something that you think you can't do
it.
Go ahead and say, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yes, he paved the way.
God is with you to do those things. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to have to close out the show with that song then.
Yep.
Once I do my outro, that'll be the closing song for the show.
Indeed.
Okay. As I was saying, thank you guys again for being here. And it was great to see you, because I've missed you guys. So, because I haven't been able to get to any shows the last couple of years because of other issues that I'm dealing with myself. But anyway, but thank you for sharing all the stories that you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next week we have one of our favorites, the Ninja, David McLaurin, will be our guest next week.
All right.
His music with our audience, so I'm excited about that, because he did a great job on the new song that he did. The city is awesome. The villain. Yes, David McLaurin. Guys, invite a friend next week, please. We are trying to still grow our station, our brand. So invite a friend, come on in, listen, come into the chat room, whether it be here on YouTube, which is the one I keep up better than the one on Facebook, but also we have a Facebook as well. Have a great weekend, take care, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.
All right, everybody. All right. And we're going to end on the Never Could Have Made It, and enjoy it, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see you were there for me, and I can say I never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see You were there for me, and I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better, much better. When I look back over all you brought me through, I can see you were the one I held on to, and I never would have made it. No, Jesus, I never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. Now I see you were there for me, and never could have made it. Oh, I never would have made it without you. I would have lost my mind a long time ago, but you were there to say, you said no. Oh, I never would have made it. Oh, through the storm and the rain, through my sickness and pain. Oh, you were right there for me. I never would have made it. No, 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 no. Never would have made it without you. Oh, now I see you there for me, and I made it. Even if it's just for today, I can say, yeah, hallelujah. Oh, I made it. I made it. Oh, I made it. Yeah. Oh, 1,000 years ago and more, you were there to make a way, Jesus. Yeah. Hey. Ooh. I lost my mind, but you were right there, right on time. Oh, yeah. And I can stand here today and say, another. Ooh, another. Oh, your mercies are new every morning. Oh, I never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. Oh, all the honor, all the glory, it all belongs to you. Oh, yeah.